Hi there, it's Kevin with the Rogue Market here with a couple quick specs for Lonis Cryptozoologist from Modern Horizons 2. All of the hype is around the Chatter Squirrel, or whatever the squirrel commander is called. But this one is also a very good card to spec around because there is already hundreds of lists on EDH Rec and on MTG Goldfish with people building around this particular commander. It's a very fun commander as far as creating a lot of clues, which is very interesting because clues have been very lackluster with enablers. They did have a little bit of a clue theme in Double Masters, and of course we had clues from Shadows over Innistrad, but a lot of the enablers for the clues were in the Shadows over Innistrad, but there was really no big payoffs. Now we have a card with Lonis Cryptologist, which is a huge payoff for clues, as you can sacrifice X clues, target opponent reveals the top X cards of the library, and you may put a non-land permanent with mana value X or less from among them onto the battlefield under your control. That player puts the rest on the bottom of the library. So it's going to be using a bribery type effect for how many clues you sack. So you want to generate a lot of clues, which means that there are some great Shadows over Innistrad specs, as well as I've got a Throne of Eldraine. So as the title suggests here, I've spent $500 on the Erdwall Illuminator and Shimmer Dragon. I also picked up a few other odds and ends from these for cards that work around these clues. Some we've already missed the boat on, but I really did like the Shimmer Dragon and the Erdwall Illuminator price points. I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to get in on this if you use other outlets like your local game store, or if you have Facebook groups or whatnot, or use CardSphere. Maybe there are still some supply there. TG Player is running dry because I have drained $500 worth of cards of these particular specs. So first of all, you can look at, when researching data, what I like to do is, of course, look at the MTG Goldfish list. There are 88 cryptozoologist lists on the MTG Goldfish. If you actually click on it, it can give you a breakdown of the most used cards. So, of course, Tireless Tracker is used because landfall is easy to generate clues. And then the inclusion is the Erdwall Illuminator, which the first time you investigate additional time. So this is basically going to give you a clue per turn. And then you can come down here, you can start to see some of the other high synergy cards like the Shimmer Dragon, which is very good. Tap 2 untapped artifacts to draw a card. This is extremely good with clues because it gives your clues some value. And even like the cards like the Shrieking Drake allows you to return a creature. They're using this particular card to then get more landfall triggers with stuff like the Coiling Oracle or the Wood Elves or any other elves that come into play, and then get a land onto the battlefield. So really enabling the Tireless Tracker here. And then you can keep going down the list and you can start to see a lot more synergy cards that work with this particular commander. I'm expecting all of these to go up in value. Things like Urza going up in value. Even the ones like the Grafmole I don't think are too far off from going up to 10 cents, 20 cents within the next few days, which is actually quite lucrative if you can get on cards like Grafmole for like 10 cents and then Card Kingdom starts buying them for 15 cents. Right there is profit margin. It doesn't take a lot of work or a lot of effort to send Card Kingdom a big package of cards. I know other places like Troll and Toad do it as well, and it is definitely worth your while to be looking at these uncommons and commons. I know a lot of people just avoid going into these low spec cards because of the hassle, but if you can make a buy list profit, that is very easy, and I prefer to do that rather than try to flesh out trying to sell cards here and there, like a card here, a card there, because your time just isn't worth it. You start paying yourself less than minimum wage at that point with the time that it actually goes to selling these or cards for these. But if you can find a buy list in a thing like Grafmole, so this is my strategy for Shimmer Dragon. And for the Erdwall Illuminator is, yes, I got in for a low price point. I'll tell you the prices in a second, but I'm expecting one of these buy lists to go up higher than the price that I got in on these particular cards, and that will be my exit point. Also keep a few for my shop. I guarantee we have a pretty vibrant commander scene. I guarantee I'm going to sell dozens of these particular cards too, and that's where I'll make a bit of a profit margin, is on my local commander scene. So that is the strategy here. So again, why did I choose Erdwall Illuminator and Shimmer Dragon? They were the best price points to get in on. Shimmer Dragon was still under $4 when I decided to pull the trigger on Shimmer Dragon. It had been going up very quickly, and same thing with the Erdwall Illuminator. There were still foils for under $1, as well as normals for 15 cents or below. So let's go ahead and check the Erdwall Illuminator. It hasn't done anything for the non-foils, and the foils as well have not really spiked up. But you start to see that first little increase there for going up in value, currently at 49 cents, but the Card Kingdom does have them at the a buck 49. If we ever actually check over at Card Kingdom, this is another thing you want to get in the habit of doing. They have 6 available. They always keep this higher. I believe uncommons they have more than, don't they usually have 25 available? I can't remember if they've actually started to do 8 available for uncommons, but they used to do uncommons and commons with 25 available. And both their near mint and EX are pretty much out. And they have increased their buy list now to 10 cents for the Erdwall Illuminator. So this is, I'm pretty sure they have some sort of automation that occurs when they go low inventory, that their software then adds this to their buy list. And so this buy list has increased. And this is another good thing. If they do want multiple copies for uncommons and commons, not if they want like 4 or 16, if they're up to the 36, they're getting pretty aggressive. And if you check back in like, a day and they're wanting 120 of these, this really means that their inventory has increased or decreased quite substantially, and they're being more aggressive of buying them. So I do believe they have ways to protect themselves as far as price is concerned. I'm sure when this drains, then they'll bring it up to 49 cents and add 8 more. And then when that drains, it goes up to like maybe 60 cents. Then it puts 8 more in until they're out of their actual stock they have on hand. But they only have 35 or 6 copies at 35 cents less of this Erdwall Illuminator before this increases. And again, I'm pretty sure that at that point, their buy list also increases for the Erdwall Illuminator. So if we actually go over to the next one, which is the Shimmer, let's go ahead and look at the Shimmer Dragon. The Shimmer Dragon is also aggressively increasing. So $2.79, this is gone. You actually look at the market price is $4.78. I paid a little bit less than $4.78. I think it was $4 and below is where I really targeted them. So the TC market price is increased very quickly. There isn't a foil copy of this, I don't believe, because this is before they put foil copies in the collector's edition. So this does only exist in collector's edition, and Brawl is the only way that you're able to get these. And the market price has gone up quite significantly, as well as, of course, it would have been better to get in at this time. Shimmer Drake is kind of cool because it just had that trajectory. It was going up regardless of going in a new commander deck. But this commander absolutely does want the Shimmer Dragon. This sucker is just a powerhouse. Gives all your art, or it has hexproof if you have long 4 or more, and then it has just a huge draw outlet with tapping 2 untapped artifacts with your clues, and your clues don't need to be untapped for your commander to then sacrifice them. So it's kind of a double whammy here of just value with the Shimmer Dragon. So of course this one's going to be an auto include in all of these decks, and so this one has gone up very, very quickly for the both the market price and the mid. Speaking of which, let's go over to Shimmer Dragon and see what's actually left here. So if you actually click on the, if we're looking at just all of the cards available left of these Shimmer Dragons, and you can see there aren't a lot of 4-ofs. Here's this 5 for $3. That'd be a good pickup in my opinion right now. I must have missed that one, or that one's been put up after I actually started to do checkouts in this. Typically, I like to go lightly played or near mint. I don't want to touch moderately played, as they're a lot harder to unload at that point. So yeah, we're getting down to very, very few copies with 46 and 32. If we actually click on the 4 more, there's only 11 copies, and I believe there 4 and more is where it really is starting to get, the thin pickings here. We have a couple of decent little ones still under that $4 after shipping with this Goblin Games, this MG Mint card. But yeah, they are running out very, very quickly for cards. And then we have this huge jump point up here for the Shimmer Dragon. So another great tool that we're definitely going to use for this is go over to EDH Rec and look at the high synergy cards with the Lonis Cryptozoologist. So maybe the boat is or the ship is sailed for this particular specs that I'm looking at with the Erdwall Illuminator or the Shimmer Dragon. There are also some good ones. Ones that I soft spec'd into was the Shrieking Drake. Again, this one has a lot of synergy with all those creatures that enter the battlefield and do something, which this actually does have quite a few of them. So the Deadeye Navigator Shrieking Drake is going to get more value. The Teamer Sabertooth is another one. This is kind of these 2 cards are very, very the classic cards in EDH with the Simic strategies within flickering, things like the Fairhaven Elf and the Wood Elf especially, because you get a ton of value out of the Deadeye Navigator and the Teamer Sabertooth. So of course, like cards like Panharmonicon are going to go up. There was the other clue one. The Second Harvest does look like another good spec. The reason why I avoided the Second Harvest is the price point had already gone up a ton because squirrels were also using this. So Second Harvest just went through the roof. We can actually check that. It's already gone way up. And this was just, you can make the argument that like, well, Kevin, you got on at Shimmer Drake at higher price point after it spiked. And yes, that is true. And I think the second harvest has a lot higher supply than the Shimmer Drake, so it was a lot easier for the Shimmer Drake to. This also has the Commander 2019 printing, by the way, and so Shimmer Drake was something that had a much lower supply that was going to get outstripped a lot quicker. But this one is another good one because there are multiple commanders from Modern Horizons that do want the second harvest. Going back to Erdwall Illuminator, again, this is going to be, in my opinion, a double up if you got in at the 15-cent mark for just the this is where you definitely want to go check your local game store's bulk bin if they sell uncommons at like 5 cents, or like we even have a box of uncommons that maybe some of these even slipped through at my local game store because this wasn't the best ability. Typically, I don't bulk out cards that have any sort of ability, like unique abilities from a set. So this is just a duck card that in the future of Magic, there's going to be a card that's going to work with this card. So I never bulk out those particular cards in my bulk. But your other local game stores might not be as prudent as I am, and they might just have these uncommons because this was a 5-cent card for a long time. This was something that, wasn't moving. There wasn't a big investigate type theme in many sets, so just got ignored. And now this is the time for the Erdwall Illuminator 2 Shine. Again, being put in 60 to 80% of all the decks of Lonis Cryptozoologist is a very, very good sign for this card. And even just an uncommon out of Shadows of Innistrad has the opportunity to go up in value. What I mean by this, if you can actually look over at Shadows of Innistrad and you can just click on an uncommon, and these suckers can go up. So the other ones that have gone up is like the Essence Flux. This is used in quite a few commander decks. The Open the Armory, same thing. I believe Open the Armory's already got a mystery box printing. No, it's got the Commander Legends. Yep, that's where Open the Armory actually got a reprint. But uncommons do have the ability to go up in value. Duskwatch Recruiter, the Halpak Resurgence, a lot of these things have gone up to $1 already, and I think that is where this sucker is headed. Trail Evidence is also another very interesting card whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, Investigate. I do believe that these are another spec that you can get in on for the same thing. For the foils have already gone through the roof. It does have a mystery booster box reprinting, so there's more supply than the Illuminator. But this is going to be a card that absolutely should go in the Cryptozoologist. It doesn't have quite as much synergy because you're not casting as many instances of sorceries as you are like creatures, but it's still going to give you a clue off of all of your ramp spells, and it's still a high synergy card with the Cryptozoologist. So there's still quite a few cards that I think are still very good specs for this particular commander, and we haven't even scratched the surface for other cards from Modern Horizons that still also look like they are pretty decent specs right now. This Sithis Harvest Hand is also an interesting one. Cards like Ethereal Armor and the Ancestral Mask are starting to go up based upon like the Voltron type strategy with the Harvest Hand. So people are playing like a Bogles type list of just Enchantress, hooking up your commander with a lot of auras and then getting in there. This one is very interesting. So is the Usuri Fortune's Flame. Whenever it attacks, you flip coins. There are a lot of flip coins cards that are going to start going up, and then there are a lot of other good commanders down in this list that are very, very interesting to build around. But this is the one that really stands out. Everyone got into Chatterfang quite early, so all the Squirrels cards went through the roof, but Lonis Cryptologist does seem to be lagging behind as far as quick, easy specs. So again, my picks for this, why I've invested in $500 of these particular cards. I hope I've laid out a pretty good reasoning of why I picked these particular cards. Yes, this might be a little bit of self-fulfilling prophecy if then I spam this on YouTube that you also should get in on this, and then it increases the value of my cards. But I hope this information has been useful to you. If nothing else, you see my strategy of picking particular cards to get in on. Both of these two, especially the Shimmer Dragon, I think are good long-term. I think Shimmer Dragon will get a reprint in either a list-like card or another commander. It's very easy to reprint it, but this will be a quick flip in my opinion. I think that people have been calling Modern Horizons 2 Commander Horizons 2 or Commander Horizons, and I think the Commander players are just going to eat this set up and eat these particular commanders up and want to build decks around them. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video with my quick picks for Modern Horizons 2. This has been Kevin with the Rogue Market. Thanks for watching.